The Avvar barbarians of the Frostback Mountains do not worship the Chantry's maker or the old dragon gods of Tevinter. Indeed, their faith is believed to have changed little over the millennia since they first split from the Alamari almost 3,000 years ago. They see the hand of the gods in all things, in a change of the wind, the pattern a flock of birds fly in, or any other things an outsider might put down to chance that Avvar regard as messages from the gods. They often come across as highly superstitious. Outsiders find the Avvar attitude toward their gods downright alarming, in part because they refer to spirits as gods. They deliberately invoke spirits in battle and for advice. Young Avvar mages are temporarily bound to a spirit, regarded as their teacher in the ways of magic. Moreover, the Avvar readily acknowledge that the spirits who answer their prayers to a god like the Lady of the Skies are essentially mimicking the Avvar's own idea of the deity. They will laugh at the idea, however, that this makes their god any less real. It was one such spirit, embodying the Avarian ideals of Hakkon Wintersbreath, that was bound to a dragon so many centuries ago. From that time on, the Avvar found that Hakkon no longer answered their prayers. However, the Avvar regarded the death of their god at the hands of the Inquisition with surprising lack of concern. Indeed, they said Hakkon was in need of a rebirthing, for such things had apparently happened before. When a god is destroyed, the Avvar engage in a year-long ritual of offerings and prayers, at the end of which a new spirit adopts the name and role of the old one. Exact beliefs about the Avvar gods differ from hold to hold, and even the occupants of the Pantheon can change. The major gods are largely the same, however. Korth, the Mountain Father, also called the Father of the Skies, is regarded as the oldest and most powerful of the Avvar gods. All in the mountains is said to spring from Korth, so the Avvar will seek to mollify him in times of scarcity. All the caves of the world are also said to have been carved by Korth, so the Avvar believe the dwarves are his creations as they live deep beneath the ground in his realm. Korth was said to live at the tallest peak at the center of the world, called Belenas, from which Korth could see all corners of the earth and sky. It is said that long ago, young Avvar challenged one another to climb Belenas, which at first Korth found amusing and delighted in their valor. Then at last Sindri's Skybreaker succeeded in climbing the mountain, and was welcomed with honors by Korth. But when Sindri returned and spread tales of the honors and gifts he had received from Korth, young Avvar scrambled to climb the mountain with renewed determination. Soon a procession of heroes were walking into Korth's hall, demanding to be heaped with gifts and honors. Korth's amusement quickly turned to annoyance, and he asked the Lady of the Skies to lift the mountain up into her realm, so no intrepid climbers could disturb him. However, other stories say that Belenas was destroyed when Korth did battle with the great serpent Nathramar, and when the Lady of the Skies saw the crater where it had once stood, her tears filled it, creating what is now known as Lake Calenhad. There is another story about Korth. As Korth looked upon the world from his mountain, he saw all the ways a man's heart could betray him, how strong men became weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. So Korth devised a way to keep his own heart from betraying him. He removed it from his chest and placed it in a golden cask, which he buried in the earth. Then he raised the fiercest mountain rage in all the world, the Frostbacks, around it. But Korth became cruel without his heart. His chest was filled with bitter mountain winds that shrieked and howled like lost souls. He no longer took joy in music or valor. He tormented gods and men alike with earthquakes and avalanches, but though they attacked him, Korth could not be killed without a heart. The Lady of the Skies sent the swiftest and strongest of her children, the largest and fastest birds, to search for Korth's heart, but all failed until the humble ptarmigan volunteered to uncover the heart. It was laughed at, and the lady did not give it her blessing, for she thought the mountains were too fierce. Nonetheless, the ptarmigan departed. It flew through blizzards, and when the winds were too harsh, it crawled upon the ground until at last it found the valley where the heart lay. As the cask was too heavy for her to lift, the the ptarmigan pushed and rolled it out of the valley and off a nearby cliff. When it hit the ground, the cask shattered, and the heart was filled to bursting with the pain of the cruel god's deeds. Such was the pain of it that Korth was stirred to leave his mountain to investigate. When Korth drew near, his heart leapt back into his chest, and he became whole once more. Hakkon Wintersbreath bound Korth's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so his heart would never escape again. Thus was the ptarmigan honored above even the loftiest eagles. The Lady of the Skies played a major role in this story, and she is also honored for her role as lover and guide to Tyrda Brightaxe, founder of the Avvar. The lady is said to have come to Tyrda in the form of an elf, and offered guidance and aid that helped Tyrda defeat her foes and secure a future for her people. She is the goddess of all that is above Korth's domain, the sky and birds and winds. She is also the goddess of the dead. The Avvar traditionally dismember their dead and leave the bodies out to be picked clean by the birds. In this way, the spirits of the deceased are taken to the lady to be reunited with their kin. Although sometimes a soul is chosen to return and be reincarnated and perform great deeds for the tribe. A tribe's augur reads the signs at birth to find such worthy individuals, and at the time of death an offering is made by the individual's kin and prepared by the huntsmaster. The offering is made to Korth and buried beneath the body. A piece of the soul thus remains, allowing the rest to return to the world and be reborn. Ritual priests called Sky Watchers read the portents of the lady and prepare the bodies of the dead. There is a story that, before the invasion of the Tevinter Imperium, the Thane of Wyvernhold had a vision of the members of his tribe transforming into serpents one by one. Only those snatched away by eagles were safe. The Thane feared that this meant his tribe would only be safe if they forsook all other gods for the Lady of the Skies. Other tribes feared this would incur the wrath of Korth, but when Tevinter invaded, Wyvernhold mysteriously vanished. The last anyone saw of them was a great flight of eagles swooping toward the hold. Next of the Avvar gods, the firstborn son of Korth, Hakkon Wintersbreath, lord of war and winter, master of the 2 bitter colds of frost and steel. Reverence for Hakkon is why the Avvar prefer to wage war and raid in winter, when their experience and resilience to the cold gives them an advantage over the lowlanders. Avvar warriors train in order to be found worthy by Hakkon, and he in turn is said to grant those who earn his favor with a natural intuition or a second wind in battle. Some warriors who prove their vigilance, wisdom, or valor are granted special weapons to perform his will. Some 800 years ago, the spirit of Hakkon was summoned out of the Fade and bound to the body of a dragon by an Avvar tribe called the Jaws of Hakkon. Hakkon led the Jaws in attacks on eastern Orlais. An elven mage called Ameridan, last inquisitor of the First Inquisition, tracked down the dragon at the behest of the Emperor of Orlais. Though unable to destroy it, Ameridan trapped Hakkon and himself with time magic, deep within an ancient Tevinter outpost where they remained for over 800 years, which prevented all Avvar from contacting him or seeking his favor. This changed when a reformed Jaws of Hakkon disrupted the magic. Hakkon, however, was swiftly killed by the new Inquisition. He will, of course, simply be reborn through the rituals of the Avvar, and his spirit will once again bless the Avvar in battle. There is also the great bear, Sigfrost, which sleeps at the foot of Korth's throne and is said to be so large that Korth once mistook him for a small mountain. He is a guardian of knowledge, and his den is supposedly filled with the scattered remains of Avvar who challenged him in pursuit of such. In his honor, Avvar treat bears as sacred animals and hunt them only with solemn respect. For this reason, the blight-corrupted Beariscarn is particularly blasphemous to them. Imhar the Clever is the trickster of the Avvar gods. His tales of mockery and wit are popular among the clans. One such story involves an evil seductress that lured Imhar into coming to face her without weapons, then brought an army of demons to confront him. Instead, Imhar ran away and led them on into a mountain pass, where he seemed cornered, Imhar laughed, and his laugh brought an avalanche down to crush the demons. There are also less famous deities that may not be worshipped in every hold, such as Rila of the Fireside, said to bless the creation of babies, and Bjorn Reedbeard, a patron of fishermen. There are also more minor nature gods of specific places, such as the god of the Wending Wood near Amaranthine, Uvola, spoken of by an ancient Avvar. Both now and in the past, the Avvar no doubt revere many such deities. In the Avvar gods we find a peculiar and ancient tradition, fascinatingly different from the rest of Thedas. The Avvars have remained firmly entrenched in the Frostbacks and continue to live and worship the way they have for millennia, and they will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Alright, this was originally supposed to be part of my Avvar video, but I decided to split it off for the sake of time. I personally find the Avvar attitude towards spirits interesting, as well as the stories of their gods. I gathered pretty much every story I could find about the Avvar gods into this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.